Well, hello there, and welcome to a behind the scenes episode for our hardcore season 2 world. I'm Doom Mountain, and at the moment we are preparing this area here for our next episode of the hardcore world, and I'm trying to level out the grounds. We're making a bit of a tree nursery, as I mentioned in our last behind the scenes, and I've dedicated which plot of space is going to be for each tree, but now I've got to go through and, as you can see over here, all the trees are cleared, all the grass, little tough bits of this stuff here has all been punched out, and it's somewhat of levelness. Okay, we've got to go through and still clear out all of this sand, but I kind of just want to get it to the point where it's all even and I know exactly where everything's going to be laid out before I change all the sand, because I do want a bit of a sandy shore lipping up around the section here, but I just don't know where it needs to go yet, so I don't want to turn it all into dirt, just have to tear it back up and put it into sand again. I hope that makes sense. Of course that makes sense, you idiot. It wasn't even that hard of a description. But anyway, so what we're going to be sort of doing in this behind the scenes is actually showing just, how much effort and bit of planning for what sections of ground we want to destroy. So like, as you can see here, I think this lipping up here is a little bit too high up compared to the rest of the ground, so I'm going to go through and destroy all of this stuff here. And I just sort of wanted to document it, because after I'd started working on this space here, it looked really clean, and it was only just from doing a few different changes, and I kind of wanted to show that process, which is getting skipped over in that episode because I'm trying to be able to keep the whole bigger build in picture. So I thought, why not actually show it being done off here in one behind the scenes, and we could just do a bit of like terrain building. So at the moment I've worked out that this section here needs to go. I want to remove all of the grass off of this layer, and the melons too, they've got to go. So I think this layer here needs to go too. And as you can see, we've got some little rounding off sections there. So I just want to show you just how that little bit of a plan, running through, taking off all of these extra bits, just how much it tidies it up so sweetly. So look, let's just quickly go through and get that done, and let's then move on to the next part. Alright, I also know that this one is a little bit of a different structure to our other behind the scene episodes, where lately we've been talking about the new update coming and that sort of thing, but I kind of just want to explore the different options that I can take with behind the scenes. So this one here, I'm thinking let's talk about terrain building and building up all that sort of stuff, because it kind of gets missed over in the hardcore episode, because I've done it so much already with building up there. There's only so much you can cram into one episode for one series sort of thing. But as time goes on and ideas change, you get new styles and different ways that you want to do things. It's always good to show you a fresher take. But I want to sleep, because when we streamed from here, I was reminded that hostile mobs still exist. So this isn't the perfect setup yet, but hopefully it will be soon. Here, breaking melons with my shovel because my axe doesn't have silk touch on it. Oh, and you stop prematurely, you idiot. Ah! This is just so relaxing, breaking all of these grass blocks. Now this is the pain, because you see, I could have just placed down a bucket of water and it would have destroyed all of this grass. But then it's going to get rid of all my torches, and I don't want to go around replacing torches again. Exactly, Mr. Cow. I've already got them in there. Why, risk it with the water? I can just go around punching grass. It's alright. Toughen up my knuckles. Alright, so looking at this part here kind of doesn't feel as though it belongs. So I might even just take this section out too. Yep, don't fall down, break not what you need. This needs to be fixed up. Alright, so I can see the shape that it's going with here. I kind of like it. Maybe we trim that back, then possibly bring this back a little bit too. And it's just the light little touches. Just see how that looks. Go down, go, yeah, that's pretty good. Get rid of this one block there. Nice, that looks pretty stable and neat. And then I want to, I think maybe if we come out 2, go out another one, get 2, and just follow that pattern, we should be able to tie ourselves back over there and having it looking sweet. So let's see how that goes. Where'd you go? I heard you. Oh, hello. Oh, and you got a trident too. Where you burning at? How are you burning? You're so close to the water. Hey, mate. What's going on? Hey! Ah! A trident! Yes! Oh, man. These things are almost meaningless on Bedrock. Seriously. We're going to start losing our floating vines, I'm thinking. These ones might get changed when there's a block placed above it. Let's see. Okay, this is the scary part. Yep. Ah! And the sad thing is that could have been an actual possible spot for it. Oh, you stupid torch got in the way. Come on, there we go. Alright, nice. You see how clean this is already coming up? Like, this is just beautiful. And all we've done is just connected a little bit there that looked too jarring and brought it smoothly into there. Is this... Sorry, it caught me off my eye. Yeah, let's get rid of this run here. Alright, let's get rid of that. Let's fix up this little bit of a hole here. Now, obviously, I've got to come back through and fix all of this up. But for now, I just want to get the top part done so I can see how this is looking and actually put in our proper road. Because I think... So what I'm thinking is, the important thing is that now that we've cleared out all our space, we need to terraform the land so it's all got the flat surfaces for us to be able to, you know, utilize the full fencing for our different farms. As you can see behind me here is the birch section of this tree nursery. So once we've got it all smoothed out and you can see like the hole there, once it's all filled in, I can go around and actually put in, I think the road would be the best bet to do first. Because once I've got that in, I can use that to help divide the borders and boundaries of each of these different trees. Then we can go through and have all the paths lead back over there behind where the vines are and actually build up a proper house storage thing for that. But that part will be covered in the actual episode. Now we're just going through the actual land terrain build up. Did you really just say actual that many times? Yeah, you're losing your mind. Just place blocks. Just place blocks. I know what you're thinking. That is way too much of a 90 degree. I agree. That's better. Now we may as well turn this with dirt. Oh. No, I'm not touching that now. I'll come back to that later. Okay, so to fix up this spot, all the seeds have been taken, the grass. Good. Yes, I know we're going to have to come back and reconnect that. Which then opens up for this part here. So let's go through again and just fill it out. But as you can see, like, look at the difference already it's been making. You just remove all of these grass parts and the ferns, and it really opens up and clears the space. So you can really see the, you know, the palette that you've got to build with and the areas that you can design things up. It makes it a lot clearer to see it all through. And again, I've got to sleep through the night, so back in a moment. I can't believe how much grass is around here. Okay, like, yes, it is a jungle, but still, it's just so much of it. Okay, now, is this oddly shaped? I mean, not that it's anything wrong with it, because in nature things are. But should I curve this around? Because this looks like it's all just too straight through. Maybe we should have... We can do a kind of a harsh turn here. And then bring it on out. maybe? Do something like that, just so that it breaks up, because that's way too much of a jagged line here. And the same with what we've got going along there. So I'm going to have to fix that up, which may even give us more space to, I think now, yeah, we're in the cherry blossom section of it. So, well, are we? No, we're in the acacia here. So that's going to give us plenty more space to build with. So I think, yeah, let's now go through and extend this part. Oh, you don't agree with me? No? Well, you better walk away. Yeah, a curve like that is so much better for it. And then we'll have to put a torch down here. Don't want any ground dwelling annoyances. Probably kick it at an extra one there. Then I'll bring this one out. Yeah, I think that'll help fill it out nicely. And then we just need to go for here, just to make it a little bit more symmetrical. Not symmetrical, but tidy. Oh, that's the word. Nice. And then we can always just dabble that in there. Perfect. So these grass will go away from there. This level needs to go, and guys, I think this is the moment that we're going to lose the floating vines. Ooh! Oh, it stays. What about the other one? Yes! Okay, we might be able to keep these things here forever. I might try and make sure that no trees can grow through it or around it to affect them. They might even get their own glass viewing thing. This one I'm not sure if it's floating only because it's got that on there, so. But anyway, this is going to get topped up. Yeah, so once we put... Oh, okay. We might be able to keep these three. Oh, sweet. I was worried about that. Because, you know, I like having sort of unusual blocks in the world. And, you know, things that shouldn't normally happen, but you can manage just to get lucky enough to have it spawn in. And that is something that's safe, simple, and I didn't get hurt trying to do it. So it can stay. I'm going to be careful trying to digging up this dirt around it, though. Careful. This is really just soothing, running through, annihilating all these grass blocks. Picking them up, hearing all the pops. Oh, it's soothing. Alright, we can empty our inventory now with blocks by finishing off this area here. And this is pretty much it. So I go around blocking out the areas that I want to have for the land and how I kind of want it to be, you know, sculpted a little bit, and then just go through and fill it all back in. I usually start off with the top layers here, as you can see, and then I'll come back around and do like these bottom drops, because I kind of want to put a bit of stone in here and have it look like there's actual, you know, proper structure. Like when you see cliffs or any side wallings or anything, there's always that bit of stone that's kicked up from underneath the ground, pushing up all the dirt layers there. So I would like to try and include that within these builds, especially with this world being something that I really want to do a lot more storytelling in, and I think I've been doing that pretty well at the moment. So yeah, so this is the process, you know, we go through, clear it all out, so all the tree chopping that I did over on the live stream, and then it's a matter of clearing out all of the annoying grassy bits, which kind of hide away some of the detail and the future possibilities. Because I mean, when I was first looking at this, it was quite crowded and I didn't know how I was going to be able to run it. But now that we've opened this up, it's really looking, you know, like the possibilities are quite endless. You know, like I've got quite a few options to run with, depending on how, you know, I sculpt some parts of this land. Opens up completely different options. So I could even just consider leaving this as a sandbar and setting it up as a well, okay, I don't know what I could, but the options are there, depending on how I want to shape it. So it's really seeable. Like over there, you can see all that grass. It's a bit more cluttered. It's a bit harder to see the potential. But when I turn around and look over here, I go, oh yeah, you've got a path running straight down there, a few bits of fences going around a section off this part of the birch forest area to the acacia. We want to isolate where we've got our floating vines. It's a lot clearer to see it through. And I think that makes some of these bigger, more daunting tasks a lot more manageable when you break it down in these smaller sections. So it's one of these tips for this behind the scenes. I'm not going to lie, I kind of know the direction of how I want this one to be. It's going through and doing the terrain, building in the first layer. I'll obviously go off and finish all the back part there, off camera. But I just want to go through and just do a bit of, how I attack creating my terrain. Oh, this is definitely coming more alive. Now, let's place the stuff around this one so I don't accidentally delete it. Like so. Now, another thing to take into consideration when you are, doing a set, design for a project or a build is the actual biome you're in. Like, if we look around here, we're in a jungle, so we have this really nice lush green grass where most of the cherrywood isles over there is a savanna. So I had to go through and use a lot of moss in there to sort of emulate some form of life, as we know from the backstory there with the enchanting tower and all that sort of stuff from previous episodes. But it's very important to sort of consider, okay, I wanted to build something that was going to be it's a nature center pretty much. It's where we're harvesting, growing, and ensuring that there is always a stock of the trees that the world has to offer. So it makes sense to have it in a biome that's going to produce lots of nice greenery, and also take into consideration, like, look at the savanna tree behind me here. Normally, you would look at this tree and the leaves look sickly. It's just not that nice. I mean, I even find the same sometimes with the birch leaves, but when you come into a jungle, everything has that more richer nutrients in the soil. Let's go with that. So it always makes these trees pop and just look so much cleaner. So the fact that I'm wearing a tree nursery here really helps with that, just look a bit more well-fed nutrients, and like everything here has a great chance of surviving. Because you see, I could have just done it on the other side of the island over there, where we're going to probably be doing a bit more work when we start entering into the mesa biome builds to do a gold farm and that sort of stuff. But you see, it's still savanna, so all the trees would have looked sickly. It would have looked like this is a failing nursery, like tree nursery. So biomes really will help set the mood for whatever build you're doing. You're trying to make a cozy cottage, you're probably going to want to go to a nice spruce biome, have that real sort of tundra-y sort of feel about it. So yeah, just think about the build and think about what biome will best work it. Then once you've done that, it really doesn't matter what shape that biome is, if you find it close to your own area so you don't have to travel too far. As we're showing now, it's just a matter of a few marking out blocks, cutting down some trees, clearing out some grass, and in no time you've got a pretty decent looking space. But always make sure to go back and collect your blocks so they don't despawn. Plus, you gotta love, doing projects like this, all the extra resources that you gather. Like these seeds, I don't need seeds at the moment, but what I do need is bone meal, so it's great to be able to put them in the compost and get them set up. Not to mention all the dirt, so like if this is a project where it was fairly flat, or we were digging down and trying to make it like a big flat space and not have all these extra spots where I'm filling it in, projects like this is where you just get your stockpile of dirt and, or even stone too if you're doing a bit of an underground cave. Sand, we're going to be getting a lot of sand, so all these resources are just great little bonuses for just pure prep work. And then when you're ready for the build, you can, use those resources that you gathered back into the build. So it's not only working, more efficiently, but it's also working smarter because you can keep, working once you've finished doing all the prep there. You're not like, okay, now I've got to go get all these resources, because most of the time you've probably collected up all the resources you're going to need from clearing out the area. And yes, I understand that may change. For example, if you're clearing out a savanna and you want cherry wood trees, you're going to still need to go and collect them. Everything has exceptions, I get that. This is going to be another one of those edges that needs to be rounded. First off, and just like that, clear out this shape here. Actually, I don't know. I kind of think should be more here. Yeah. And then fix that up. So don't forget, just because we're trying to add spots here too, always just shave off a bit too from the landscape. Don't be afraid to remove blocks and then just re-put them back in if they don't look right. I mean, if you don't try it, you're never going to know if it's going to be a winning combination or not. Plus, the more combinations and options that you try with your landscaping, the more patterns and that you recognize, and you can get a little bit quicker by going, oh, I see this space here, this would look really cool if we had this kind of curve here. And then you can just lay it out so much quicker. Now again, I'm met with another one of these flat bits, and I think it might be better off to curve this here. Just because it looked a little too straight, like it needed to have some sort of shaping to it. And even then, it's still, it's on a bit of a better projection for it. We're gonna have to shave off a bit here. So let's go out to like that, and then what I like to also do when I'm working out my shave is I'll stand at an angle and just go like that, because we want this to curve, we don't want it to be straight, so cutting it off at that little bit of an angle gives us these nice jags, which sometimes kind of lines up to looking like a very natural spawned terrain, which is, the ultimate idea of what we want to get done. But where'd my bed go? It's getting dark, it's floating over there. Yeah, okay, see, that now looks like a much more smoother, I know it's jagged and janky, but it looks like a smoother terrain for being something naturally there. Alright, perfect, let's fill in this hole here. I'm trying so hard not to fall down there while I'm running backwards. And I know just by thinking about it is what's going to make me fall. And you see, just like that, an ugly hole that wasn't very desirable in your area is gone with just a few blocks. Now what we do is we pray that no creepers ever blow up there and we fall down the hole, because we forget that this is only one block high in set areas. But it keeps us on our toes. Now Bluey, I don't know if this section here you're sitting on quite works. It does a little bit. I can't, yeah, look, I'm gonna push you over here. Just because we're just gonna round this off. We're gonna do it just like this. And one there. Yeah, that's not too bad. And then we'll just prop up a few there. Look, I think it's gonna be fine, mate. Don't worry, don't worry. It looks good. Woohoo! Running low on grass, so grass and dirt too. So we might not be able to fall. We might just, come on. Please don't let me walk around here and realise I've missed a spot. No, because that works in with that part. Oh, I'm looking good so far. Ah, sweet. It's got a little bit here, but that will go in nice like so. Alright, let's get rid of these last little bits. And I think this has been a good little go through of the terrain building method that I use. Method, steps. I hope this has been some... Oh, baby panda! Hello! Oh, and you're a snotty-nosed one. Do I have... I threw away my bamboo. Wait, there's bamboo somewhere here. Where was there bamboo? Oh, there we go. This is important. I want this guy to stay around. Now, because I fed you, does that mean you're going to stay? I don't know. Have we got a lead here? Oh, we do not. Oh, bless you! Oh, I want you. I don't want to put you in a boat though, because that becomes a pain. Look at you sneezing. Can you make your way back up here where it's safer? Come on, up you come. Ready? There we go. Make your way up here. Look, I'm pretty sure that by feeding him that one piece of bamboo, it's initiated that I have interacted with him, so he won't despawn. I'll keep you updated in the next hardcore episode, which should be episode 24. So we'll continue on the tale of the snotty panda over there. Oh man, you get so easily distracted. Alright, almost finished up these bits here. Okay, yes, there's grassy bits down there, but I'm going to do that part off camera. I'm just showing you the first half on camera. Mainly because, you know, I'm trying to give you a few tips in that I use to help me work through my terrain building. And one of the most ultimate ways to really just get into the zone, I find, is to, you know, usually be watching something like on YouTube or a stream on Twitch, or listen to some music on Spotify. So that really helps get in the zone. So I'll finish off this first bit showing you guys, you know, little tricks that I use, and then I'm going to more than likely chuck on a Hermitcraft video of some description, whoever's posted most recently, and just build through it. What the hell's happening to his head? Did you see that roll? Was that what you were supposed to do, but you only had your head going? Oh. What the hell? His whole head rolled around. Look, oh, I'm sorry, am I picking on your friend there? Look, I just think he might be possessed or demonic after seeing that head roll. Don't worry, I'm gonna go get more bamboo, just because I really want to make sure that he's fed enough to love me. Bamboo's over there. Thank you. Come on, it's getting dark and that area isn't lit up. Now, can I feed you enough so that you give me love hearts and I know that you're not gonna leave? There we go. There we go. And I'll give you some too. Hopefully you eat that, you become my friend, and you aren't demonically possessed, okay? We cool? I think we cool. I'm gonna go sleep. Now, I have just looked over here, and this section looks a bit weird. So, I'm gonna come through, clear out this part, and then we're going to do a hard turn here. And I think that might correct it. Yep. Pop one. Oh! You see? Almost fell down one of my own damn holes. That looks a little clearer, so let's just remove the rest of this stuff. Not fall down a hole. There we go. Sweet, now that just ties it in. Just a little bit cleaner. And we could probably even add in just one of those little bumps to show that little outdent. Sweet. Alright, and as we can see now, with all of this, you know, clutter from the grass and the ferns cleared up, the landscape now smoothened out and all the holes filled in, that it really helps tie this place together into a way that we can now see it as a nice, clean, pure, blank canvas, so that we know what we've got to work with. Much more of a clearer option, things to do than, you know, that sort of section there behind me where you can still see how cluttered, and I mean, it doesn't look bad, it just looks like, you know, there's a lot more work to be done, whereas over here you can very well much see that, hey look, if we just throw in our path leading up from our boat and the docking area down there, fence off the sections now that you can clearly see going to be marked off, where you've got birch over there, we've got oak down there, we've got acacia here, you know, you can see these areas nicely developing up their section. Where over here you can see where we've got that too tall jungle growing, and we've got some of these mangroves and that. You can see, yeah, okay, they're growing there, but you don't know, are they growing there because they're supposed to be, or is it just something that's just spawned in there? So I'm really happy with seeing how this potential has come up. I hope that, you know, I've managed to clearly sort of get through the ideas that I was going through of trying to show you how and what I see is important when you're trying to do the landscaping for any area that you're trying to help tell a story or have, you know, a build specific area. So, you know, that was first of all, you know, working at the biome. So I knew that this was going to be a tree nursery, wanted it to be lively and lush, so a jungle always works out perfect for that. I know a mushroom biome has lovely green grass, but that's not close to me. A jungle was close to me where a savanna was on the other side, so it was a clear pick. But once you've gone through with that, you don't need to be scared off with, you know, how the terrain looks there. You just go through, we clear out all of these trees, and we're left with just like a bit of a cluttery mess of just piles of dirt, some holes that show the potential of filled in, and a lot of grass and ferns. So once we cleared that out, you could see that this here is a really nice blank template. And I hope that it's sort of shown you guys that we've watched through this. I'm pretty sure I haven't done the editing yet for this, but I'm pretty sure I'll keep most of those times I go to sleep. It took me about, what, three in-game days worth, so half an hour, 40 minutes just to turn this little part around, and there's so much now I can work off of with, plus all the resources that I've been collecting. So yeah, it's just been great, and thank you for everyone who has tuned in and wanted to take a few, you know, terrain building tips. I hope it has helped in some way. Or you've just tuned in and you like listening to my voice, and for that I thank you very much. So I'm going to wrap up here now the little behind the scenes terrain tips video. Yeah, I'm now flustered with my words, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But thank you to everyone who has tuned in, and I hope to see you next time. Until then,